It's been a minute. What's up guys, I'm here on my channel GearedInc, where I get to share what I'm passionate about with you. To my channel, that's PC tech, games, and gear. And hey, if you don't care about any of this stuff and you're just here for the comparison and the benchmarks and all that, I did you solid. All the timestamps are in the comment, the description's in the video. You can skip right to that and skip the rest of my video if you want to, and I hope you enjoy it. But I do want to talk about some things first. So, thanks for everyone's patience. If you watched my Amazon gift card giveaway, you know I have been dealing with a career change, finishing school, and a bunch of things dealing with my son medically. And so things have just been kind of going on, and so thanks for all your patience. I am not gone. I'm continuing to make content. I'm still very passionate about what I do on this channel, but I want to thank all of you personally for being patient with me. So basically 4K gaming is kind of in a weird spot. Next year, supposedly, consoles are going to finally support native 4K gaming, not upscaled, for both PS5 and Xbox Scarlett at 60 FPS. Now, I imagine they'll accomplish this through a combination of, better streamlined technology, maybe like a DLSS kind of built in for anti-aliasing to take off some of the GPU pressure, medium to low settings of 4K gaming, I'm imagining, and also just really good coding, which honestly console games usually are really good at coding it for performance. So that's how I think they're going to achieve this. But it begs the question on whether or not that will make 4K gaming kind of the standard and more affordable. Because the problem is, let's say you want a 4K game right now. You have two routes. If you want 60 FPS, you're going to need a 2080 Ti, you're going to need a 9900K, or maybe like 3900X like I have. My system is like $3 grand, and that's essentially what you're going to need to run 60 FPS ultra settings at 4K if you want like the max. Now, if you want the max, because as any gamer will tell you, the big fight is between frame rate and resolution, and most gamers would prefer more frame rate at a lower resolution than higher resolution at a lower frame rate. If you want both, you're gonna have to add another 2080 Ti, and the only 4K 144 hertz monitors right now are like 12, 13, 1500 or more, meaning altogether you're like $5-6 grand out of pocket if you want like a monster system and monitor that's gonna be able to show you all of those high frames. However, if you're not like me, you're not a super enthusiast, you're not someone who would drop thousands of dollars in terms of monitor, gaming, all that stuff, what would you prefer? What would you actually enjoy more? And would you enjoy more resolution at like 60 FPS, or would you enjoy more frames if you didn't know exactly what you're looking at? So today is a 4K comparison to 1080p. The 1080p is on this monitor, which is 165 hertz IPS Gsync. The other one, it's 60 hertz TN panel, but it's 4K. So you're going to be able to see side by side, and you're going to be able to decide for yourself which looks better to you. Now, I do have benchmarks at the end of that. I'm going to make sure I benchmarked all of this, so because obviously I'm a numbers guy, so I want to see that, and I'm sure some of you do as well. But as far as like actual seeing it, I want this just to be kind of like more of like a quality check, just like which one looks better to you without knowing any of the numbers, because I think that's a little more honest in terms of what someone's perception might be if they didn't know they were actually seeing a higher refresh rate on one of those monitors or seeing more resolution on the other one. So that's what we're basically going to set out to test today. Now, all these games were ran at ultra, the highest possible settings they could be. On top of that, it's all the components of my computer and everything are in the description of the video if you want to check all that out. But without further ado, let's check it out. So the results were definitely surprising in some ways to me, and I want to talk about the benchmarks on this before I talk about kind of some of my feelings after doing these tests. So the first thing was, in terms of all these games, with the exception of Red Dead Redemption 2, we were able to get basically 60 FPS or more on every title at ultra settings 4K. 1080p handled it like a champ, obviously, getting high FPS with this system. But in terms of 4K, Red Dead Redemption was the only one that was slightly below that 60 FPS mark in terms of being able to get consistent FPS across the board when we're looking at all the different games that we tested. Now, I fired up Red Dead Redemption because that's kind of more of a console port title, and it's been absolutely terrible. Epic and Rockstar have done a terrible job of porting this to PC. And when I was playing it, I was noticing I wasn't getting 55 FPS average. I was getting closer to 40, maybe 45 FPS, which, that's kind of like a console experience anyway, so it didn't bug me terribly necessarily, but obviously it's not the best experience you'd want on 4K in any situation, but the game still looks pretty good at 4K, or I would say not pretty good, it looks pretty dang good at 4K. Now, what I was surprised was there's actually 2 other titles out of the games we tested that I would prefer at 4K 60 Hertz. Now, Call of Duty, you may have seen that specifically, that kind of bad recording for 4K. That's definitely, anytime you're shooting a game, even single player, high refresh rate is what I prefer 100% of the time. Honestly, I could almost not tell the difference between 4K and 1080p, but I could absolutely tell the difference between frame rate in that game, and so I will pick, high refresh rate in that game every single time. But Metro Exodus looks so good at 4K compared to 1080p, at least from what I could see. I would actually play it at 4K 60 Hertz and not be bothered by that. I really enjoyed the higher graphical fidelity of that game, just because it's been designed so beautifully. The other one is The Witcher 3. When The Witcher 3 originally came out, it was not nearly as well optimized as it is now, but the fact that I'm getting 60 FPS consistently at 4K means that I can enjoy all the little nuances, like the detail on the wood, on like buildings and the armor and Geralt. All of this stuff built this really great graphical experience that I would give up high refresh rate for, and I'm a gamer and enthusiast, a hardcore one at that. So it comes down, I guess, to your personal preference, but what I found by doing these tests was that there are more 4K games now I'd play at 60 FPS than I certainly would have in the past. However, the tale as old as time stands the test of time, and that is higher refresh rate, for the most part, is going to matter more to gamers. And so it really comes down to, if consoles can kind of change the market to make it more affordable to do 4K gaming, I feel like there are a big chunk of people who would make that jump. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. It was something I wanted to do for a while. If you did, go and leave me a big thumbs up. If you thought it was horrible, leave me a thumbs down. If you want to comment or leave me feedback, I really appreciate that. I love hearing everyone's point of view on this. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and the bell icon so you know when new videos drop. I actually have a sponsored hardware video going to be coming out, which I'm going to be giving away as well. So that's hardware giveaway for this month. Going to have my Black Friday buyer's guide coming out, all my usual November stuff. So make sure you guys check back for that. Thanks to my Patreon and Twitch subscribers. You guys make the channel happen in a big way. I know I haven't been able to stream in a while. Again, so much life stuff's going on, but our monthly wallpaper came out fantastic. So this month it was The Outer Worlds, which I'm still playing through. I love that game. And so just make sure that you guys know how much I appreciate all of you. If you want to support me directly, you can do so by buying anything through the Amazon affiliate link in the description of this video. As always, guys, I'm going to continue to make these videos whether you watch them or not, but I hope you do. And I hope to see every single one of you next time here on GearedInc. Seriously, there are a couple, I was surprised. There was a couple games, 4K, surprising that I would actually prefer that. Red Dead Redemption 2, you guys suck. That port is terrible, but I'm having fun with my friends, so I guess there's that. You don't have enough kidneys to sell to buy a system that's capable of 144 Hertz 4K. It's a lot of money.